of Virginia and the Oklahoma Sooners. Only 16 teams remain in contention for this year's national title. And in the Southeast, take a look at how they got here. Oklahoma got here with a close win over East Tennessee State, then set a tournament record with 124 points against Louisiana Tech. Virginia has scored 100 points or more in wins over both Providence and Middle Tennessee State. And hello again, everybody. I'm Tim Brandt. It's no surprise to see Oklahoma among the final 16. The Sooners were ranked #1 in the nation 4 consecutive weeks during the regular season. And they came into this tournament as the #1 seed in the Southeast. Virginia, on the other hand, had a tumultuous season. As a matter of fact, they lost their head coach, Terry Holland, for 6 games with an intestinal blockage. They lost 5 games in a row, and at one point were 7-6. But oh, have they turned things around. They've won 14 of their last 18 games, and coming into this game have to be considered one of the hottest teams in the tournament. Working with me tonight, the All-American from the University of Maryland, Len Elmore. Lenny, let's talk about the Virginia backcourt, and you have to start with Richard Morgan. He scored 66 points in the first 2 games.
Well, Tim, Richard Morgan, a 6'3" senior guard, is a long-range scorer with marvelous ability. He's the kind of guy who'll run the floor well. He'll push it up sometimes when he gets the ball, but more often than not, he's a great defender. Now, John Crotty is the perfect complement. He's a 6'1" sophomore guard who's the floor leader. He's got to distribute the ball, make sure everyone gets it where they can use it, and keep the pace moderate, not fast, the way Oklahoma likes it. And speaking of Oklahoma, the keys to their success are an active pressure defense and a strong inside game. When you think of the active pressure defense, you think of Mookie Blaylock. The 6'1" senior guard has a gambling, slashing style that goes well with pressure defense. And then when they get possession, they'll take it to Stacey King. The 6'11" senior is a college player of the year, and he's a guy who possesses quickness and a soft shooting touch inside. That's what makes the matchup for Virginia very difficult.
Len, tell us about the 2 coaches, because there is an obvious contrast in styles.
Well, you look at Terry Holland on one end. He's the epitome of the Southern gentleman. He gets it done with quiet effectiveness. That's how he gets quality out of his players. On the other hand, you have Billy Tubbs. Now, Billy Tubbs is the king of bravado. He once said that he likes to win by intimidation. And if his Oklahoma Sooners don't get it started, they're going to hear an earful.
All right, Lenny, we talked with both coaches at great length the last couple of days. Terry Holland of Virginia, Billy Tubbs of Oklahoma. This is how they see tonight's matchup.
One of the problems with a team like this is if they back you off at all, if you become tentative against them and quit attacking, then they can really come after you and come up with a lot more steals. It's not like you end up protecting the basketball. It's like you end up trying to keep it away from them.
When our defense is really cooking, the points really come around when we're doing a great job defensively. And we had probably drifted into conservative nature defensively, and I think the last game meant a lot to us because it reminded us of what it's going to take to play like we want to play Sooner basketball.
We can go to 90. We can maybe be able to go to 100 if we have to score 110 to win the game. That would be tough for us.
The only time these 2 clubs have ever met was last season, and Oklahoma handed Terry Holland his worst defeat ever at the University of Virginia, 109-61. Right now, let's go to public address announcer Doug Bruce for tonight's starting lineups.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky for tonight's Southeast Regional semifinal game between the Virginia Cavaliers and the Oklahoma Sooners. Now, let's meet the starting lineups. First for Virginia, at forward, a 6'5" freshman from Bremen, Virginia, number 20, Bryant Stiff. For Oklahoma, at forward, a 6'7" junior from Grand Prairie, Texas, number 30, Skeeter Henry. For Virginia, at forward, a 6'7" sophomore from Millmont Park, Pennsylvania, number 30, Matt Blendon. For Oklahoma, at forward, a 6'6" junior from Kansas City, Kansas, number 44, William Davis. For Virginia, at center, a 6'9" junior from Peeksville, New York, number 32, Brent Dabbs. For Oklahoma, at center, a 6'11" senior from Lawton, Oklahoma, number 33, Stacey King. For Virginia, at guard, a 6'3" senior from Salem, Virginia, number 11, Richard Morgan. For Oklahoma, at guard, a 6'1" senior from Garland, Texas, number 10, Mookie Blaylock. For Virginia, at guard, a 6'1" sophomore from Spring Lake, New Jersey, number 22, John Crotty. For Oklahoma at guard, a 6'3 sophomore from San Francisco, California, number 24, Terrence Mullins. And now, introducing the head coaches for Virginia in his 15th season, Terry Holland. And for Oklahoma in his 9th season, Billy Tubbs.
And 10. The Oklahoma Sooners 30-5. We'll have the opening tip right after this. Fans are expected in Rupp Arena tonight in Lexington, Kentucky for the semifinal game of the Southeast region. Virginia dressed in blue, Oklahoma in white. The officials tonight, Gene Manji from the Big East, Bobby Dibbler out of the Southwest Conference, and Herman Ramsey out of the SEC. We're all set. One team will advance to the championship of the Southeast. The other will go home. The tap controlled by the Cavaliers. This is Crotty to Morgan. And Morgan's the guy you want to watch early. Virginia shooting 58% from the field in this tournament, 70% from three-point range, and 83% from the free throw line. Dabbs kicks it back outside to Stiff. Rebound inside and the score by Dabbs.
Well, right away, Tim, you see Virginia wants to make Stacey King work on defense.
Mullins answers with three.
Three-point basket by Holland.
Pressure defense starts right away. That's what gets Oklahoma going, according to Coach Billy Tubbs. It builds their intensity.
This is Morgan. His shot won't go. Rebound, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma surprisingly disciplined. They moved the ball around well. It's quite a contrast from the last game where they got the ball up after they got possession, maybe within 7 or 8 seconds.
Davis makes it a 5-2 Oklahoma lead. This is Crotty working on Blaylock.
And this is the type of tempo Virginia would like, Tim.
Turnover number 1 for the Cavaliers, who trail by 3. Just underway in Rupp Arena. Tim Brandt and Len Elmore with you. Oklahoma and Virginia. This is King on the baseline. No contest.
The next time Virginia failed to help out, it was one-on-one. London against King, and Oklahoma's going to win that battle.
Turnover number 2. This is Mullins. Rebound, Crotty of Virginia. Oklahoma's 3 for 4 now from the field. Nice pass to Dabbs, who loses it out of bounds. Turnover number 3, and Len, Virginia looks a little bit tight right now.
Well, particularly Brent Dabbs, that's about the 3rd time he's gotten a pass and fumbled it. He's got to get the butterflies out because he's heavily counted on.
Oklahoma on a 7-0 run. This is King. His shot won't drop. London with a rebound. Virginia has scored over 100 points, as we told you, the first 2 games. It's the first time the Cavaliers have had that happen since the mid-70s. Morgan's shot goes out of bounds, and it'll be Oklahoma basketball. To take that a step further, Len, Virginia has never had 3 games in a row where they've scored 100 or more points.
Well, with the types of teams that they've had in the past and present, they're not geared for this real fast-paced game. They get points by really putting the ball in the basket.
Mullins throws it away. It was intended for Blaylock. It's a 7-2 Oklahoma lead with 7:19 remaining in the first half.
Now, to further amplify on that pace, Tim, Virginia's the kind of team that'll come down with a limited number of possessions and shoot real well. That's how they'll get to 100. Oklahoma, on the other hand, they'll try to get up 100 shots in the game and hope that they hit 40 or 50.
Stiff with a power move makes it 7-4. More importantly, Morgan is 0 for 2 for the Cavaliers. Rebound Dabbs for Virginia. This is Crotty. Kicks it out to Stiff. This is for 2. Nice rebound inside by Dabbs.
And the butterflies are gone. And you also recognize Stacey King. The reason Virginia's going after him is because the book on him is he fails to block out, and he may not be intense on defense.
Davis, power move. Banks it in. Talk about Virginia being a little bit tight, but they're certainly not backing off.
No, they're being an opportunistic type of team. If they get the rebound, they're going to run it up and explore the Virginia defense because they know they've got to attack aggressively. They can't sit back because that's when Oklahoma kills you.
16-23 in the first half. It's 9-6 Oklahoma. The Cavaliers now spread the court. And Crotty will call out the offense.
And if you notice on the last series of passes, Brent Dabbs was outside, knowing that Stacey King is not going to come out and contest him. He's a fine outlet for the Virginia players against pressure.
Tough shot for Crotty. Rebound Blunden inside. Takes it back up. Again, he goes up and has this one blocked down by King, and he's fouled.
And you got to give Virginia an awful lot of credit. They're staying on the boards. And if you look at Oklahoma, no one blocks out. The ball goes up on the board. They watch the flight of the ball, and then they go after it. And that's why Virginia, particularly Matt Blunden, has been able to cut in there and get some offensive rebounds.
That's the first foul on King, the first team foul against Oklahoma. We'll keep an eye on that. Stacey King has been disqualified 11 times this year for personal fouls. Blunden can't hit the first. He's a 58% free throw shooter and the backup quarterback on the football team. So as soon as Virginia's eliminated, he'll go to spring practice, which started today. This is the second one. Dabbs with a rebound, and he'll take it right back into the paint. Dish it off to Stiff, who banks it in.
Again, no block out. It's really hurting Oklahoma. Stacey King failed to put his body on Brent Dabbs.
Henry gets it back to the Sooners. This is Blaylock. Rebound Morgan.
Virginia doing a nice job of cutting down on the easy baskets that Oklahoma may get in transition up to this point.
Shot clock has not been a factor. The skip pass to Dabbs. The follow by Stiff, and he's fouled.
Foul is on Davis.
Look at the rebound edge. And Virginia averages only 39 rebounds a game.
And Tim, I guarantee you most of those are offensive rebounds. Of course, Oklahoma's not hitting right now, but on the offensive board for Virginia, their people are active. They're moving around, and Oklahoma's just failing to put a body on someone and keep them away from the board.
The foul was on Davis, and Stiff hits the first one. Stiff was the valedictorian of his graduating class last spring. Also a parade All-American. Here he is 1 year later, and he's in the final Sweet 16 as a freshman at UVA.
Substitution for Virginia.
Jeff Daniel will come in for Virginia, and Blunden will get a break. The first substitution for UVA.
Well, Matt Blunden has done a heck of a job on the defensive end against Stacey King. Virginia now in full court pressure, and Daniel is good in scrapping and hustling for the ball, but also they're going to use up some of those fouls against Stacey King. Really wear him out using Daniel on him.
Davis inside scores for Oklahoma. It's 11-10 Sooners. This is Morgan. We'll keep an eye on Daniel, who just came in the game. Last year, he had more personal fouls than points. He may be coming in for a reason.
Get out, Marty, tell him. Well, he'll get it started under there, and Stacey King's going to have to be aware of him as well.
Tough shot for Morgan. Rebound Dabbs. Back outside to Morgan in the paint, and he has his first bucket.
As I've been telling you all along, still, there's no blocking out for Oklahoma. They've got to make the adjustment because they're getting killed.
Cavaliers by one. A lot of banging down low. King and Dabbs both go down. A whistle away from the basketball.
Foul is
on Ryan Stiff of Virginia.
Team first.
So with 14-17 remaining in the first half, it's Virginia by one. Strong on the boards.
Well, they've been able to move around and get good position. On the other hand, Oklahoma fails to block out, and there are two schools of thought as far as rebounding is concerned. Sometimes the quick, good leaping teams never block out. They figure they'll get to the ball quickly. Virginia has to block out, and that's what they've done.
Blaylock's shot will drop. Morgan with the rebound. Oklahoma, which in 4 of its first 5 shots, is now 1 of 6. Virginia's on an 8-2 run over the last 4 minutes. Oklahoma staying in a man defense. This is Stiff. Oklahoma with a 2-on-1. Oh! Mullins.
Well, you can kind of say that that was an unforced error. Still problems handling the ball, but it's one of the easy baskets that Virginia doesn't want Oklahoma to get, and Oklahoma thrives on.
It's a 1-point Sooner lead. Morgan for 3. Yes!
3-point basket by Morgan.
Cavaliers staying in a man defense. Blaylock gives it up to Mullins. King gets away with a push, or did he? No, it'll be against King. And that's his second.
And we mentioned that Jeff Daniel is in there to try to soften up Stacey King. And what Daniel did was try and whip around in front. He's got Stacey King frustrated. He and Blunden. And what happened was that particular foul was a frustration foul. They're trying to knock the guy out of the way instead of get your position.
We told you he's fouled out of 11 games. That's his second personal. Daniel goes back out for Virginia. Blundy comes back in. So the original starting 5 is in for now for the Cavaliers. Crotty walks. That's turnover number 5 for Virginia.
Well, you can see right now that Virginia is not going to be really happy with just sitting back once they beat the pressure. If there's an opening, they're going to attack it.
Virginia leads by 2. Inside to King. He's double-teamed immediately. Cavaliers are really clogging the middle. Numbers aren't there. Stiff will pull up and they'll set the offense. This is Dabbs to Crotty. Crotty's the quarterback on this Virginia team. And Morgan's the shooter. Crotty banks it in.
At that time, recognizing how aggressive this defense is for Oklahoma, Crotty just let Mookie Blaylock step right by him.
Mullins' shot won't go. Rebound Morgan. He'll pull up for 3. Cavaliers get it back. And the foul's on William Davis of Oklahoma. That's his second.
Davis, his second team point.
And Tim, on that last exchange, that's the type of pace Oklahoma wants to play. The problem is they right now have been stymied, and they don't seem to be concentrating in any phase of the game. They've had some easy baskets that they've blown, some opportunities. They haven't been able to get the steals that they want, and Virginia is playing just the way Oklahoma would love to play.
Brian Stitt went out of the ball game. Kenny Turner comes in for Virginia. It's a 16-4 run for the Cavaliers. And it's Virginia's biggest lead of the game at 7. Turnover number 6 for Virginia, and Blunden now is called for the foul.
Now that particular play might help pick up the intensity for Oklahoma, but Billy Tubbs said earlier that his team thrives on the intensity when his defensive pressure picks up. And that time they had 3 and 4 guys around the ball. That's what they need to do right now to get into this game.
That was the first personal on Blunden, the first team foul. This is Mullins over to Blaylock. Mullins for 3.
3-point basket by Mullins.
Cuts the lead to 4. Crotty pushes it back quickly. Crotty almost gets into trouble. Out front they go to Dabbs, over to Morgan. That one's for 2.
And he's
Just
on,
over the line.
He's on fire. There's not much that Mookie Blaylock could do with Morgan's shot. Off balance, and it still goes in.
Cavaliers came into this game shooting 70% from three-point range and 58% for the tournament. It's a 22-16 lead for the Virginia Cavaliers. The foul underneath will be on Turner. That's his first, the team's second.
Foul is on Turner.
Virginia's still red hot.
Particularly Richard Morgan inside. He's been filling it up, but Oklahoma on that last play, they may have found the key to the stifling defense of Virginia. If they're going to double and triple team their big man, you can throw over it when you've got the superior height. And that time they did just that, lobbing it to Stacey King, who held his position. He didn't get frustrated.
Tyrone Jones came in for Skeeter Henry for Oklahoma, and Jeff Daniels back in for Blunden for Virginia. 10:40 remaining in the first half. Another turnover. That's number 4 for Oklahoma. It's a 6-point Cavalier lead. Crotty looks, now penetrates. Can't get the roll. Mullins with the rebound. Laylock can't get it to fall. Tough follow by Martin.
Now we're seeing the Oklahoma style of play start rising to the top right now. They put it up from outside. If they miss, they go get it.
Kick it back out, and Crotty will set the offense. The feeling coming into the arena tonight was Oklahoma could blow Virginia out. It still may happen, but to this point, the Cavaliers have played well.
And this is somewhat of a crucial time for Virginia in that now Oklahoma is starting to round into its game. They're starting to create some turnovers. Virginia's got to really take care of the ball.
Billy Tubbs is upset.
Timeout on the floor.
Welcome back to Rupp Arena. Tim Brandt and Len Elmore with you for the semifinal of the Southeast region. Oklahoma started out with a 9-4 lead. Virginia started out cold shooting, but controlled the boards. Look at these numbers. Second chance points, very important. Virginia's Rich Morgan has hit 4 in a row after missing his first two shots, rather, and he has 10 points. 9:38 remaining in the first half. Cavaliers in blue with the ball and a 4-point lead. This is Dabbs, and he's fouled. The foul was on Martin, and that's his first.
Tim, Billy Tubbs has gone to a substitution of the full front line, trying to give his guys a break, but also an opportunity for Stacey King to take a look at what's going on and maybe get a better perspective as to what's happening to him, so he won't get so frustrated on the other end.
You saw Dirk Castor come in for Virginia. John Crotty will get his first break. Dabbs at the line with 4 points and 6 rebounds.
Giving Crotty a break is key for Virginia because throughout this game, he's going to handle the ball the bulk of the time. He's going to be hounded by Mookie Blaylock.
And he misses the second one. Virginia 0 for 4 at the line tonight. Cavaliers stay in a man defense. Martin, this is for 2.
Basket by Martin.
Cuts the Cavalier lead to 2. Great penetration by Stiff. Can't make it work, so they go back out front to Morgan.
Richard Morgan now in the unaccustomed role of being a point guard and running the show, and he just doesn't possess that instinct as a point guard. He's a great scorer, but that's what's going to bog Virginia's offense down a bit.
Look at Billy Tubbs working the efficiency. Turnover number 7 for the Cavaliers. Crotty comes back in, and Morgan now will get a rest. That's Richard Morgan's first breather. It's 22-20, Virginia. There's the turnover situation we talked about. Oh, what a play inside, and the score by Mike Bell.
And if you're going to front the inside guys again, if you can throw it over when they get good position, that's what you do.
We're tied at 22. This is Crotty. Shot clock at 25. Dabbs. Tough move, and he scores.
And Brent Dabbs is a big story for Virginia. It took him a while to round into shape, but he's come on during the last few games for Virginia, really giving them an offensive lift.
Martin at the top of the key to Mullins. Jones, nice pass to Bell inside, who has it blocked down by Daniel.
Good helping defense by Virginia. Daniels coming down from the top.
Virginia leads by 2 with 7:40 remaining in the first half. Tim Brandt and Len Elmore with you in Lexington, Kentucky. Rupp Arena. Dabbs comes way out front to help.
Oklahoma doing a nice job in overplaying the passing lanes, forcing Virginia to come way out to the ball.
Crotty for 2.
That's a quick antidote for all that overplaying. Take them to the basket.
The biggest Virginia lead was 7 if you're just joining us. This one knocked out by Castro.
Substitution for Virginia. Entering the lineup.
Richard Morgan will come back into the lineup for Virginia. Along with Matt Blunden, Castro will sit down, and Dabbs will get a breather.
Virginia's going to have to make an adjustment now. Oklahoma's content to just lob the ball over their defense. The way to stop that is to put pressure on the passer.
From way outside, and Blaylock for 3 has his first bucket of the night. He was 0 for 4. Virginia leads by 1. Morgan, nice pass to Stiff. Blaylock got away with one there.
Well, Richard Morgan goes up nicely, but dishes off. He forces both defenders to commit themselves. And Brian Stiff, who's been a great story as a freshman for Virginia, coming in and literally carrying the team for a bulk of the season, makes a nice move down the lane.
Blaylock got caught in the air, threw the ball out of bounds, but he was fouled by Richard Morgan. That's Morgan's first, the 4th team foul. Jones for 3. And we're tied at 28. Martin, Patterson, Blaylock, Jones, and Bell on the floor right now for Oklahoma. This is Stiff for 2.
Great example, Tim, of Virginia. Once they beat the pressure, they're not content with sitting back and waiting for everyone. They're not playing a slowdown game. They're going to attack.
The shot clock has not been a factor. You can see the points off turnovers. Oklahoma strong there. Cavaliers with 7 turnovers. And the Sooners lose it out.
Richard Morgan did a nice job of, after doubling up, closing back outside on the passer.
They say it's not how fast you run with Oklahoma, it's how long you run fast. And if you try to run and tire, things fall apart rapidly.
But what Virginia is doing is picking and choosing their spots. Here they've reset to run a set defense. Other times they have the opportunity to run, they'll exploit it. It's a good decision.
Look at Stiff working on Patterson.
Well, Brian Stiff again at 6'5" is a whale of an inside player, gets great position.
The freshman now has 12 points for the Cavaliers. This is Blaylock for 3. Jones with the follow.
Basket by Jones.
That time Matt Blunden tried to draw an offensive foul, and he kind of gave up the position inside. He might be better off just keeping his hands up, making the shooter shoot over.
Cavaliers with a 2-point lead. Stiff's had the hot hand. He has 12 points for Virginia. This is Crotty. Martin. His shot won't fall. Rebound Oklahoma. Blaylock really having trouble here offensively in the first half, and the foul will be called against Anthony Martin. 4:52 remaining in the first half. It's a 2-point Cavalier lead.
Substitution for Oklahoma.
We're back.
In Rupp Arena, we'll place the first team into the regional finals tonight. The winner of this game, Oklahoma-Virginia, moves on, and will play the winner of Game 2 here tonight at Rupp Arena between North Carolina and Michigan. The score right now, Virginia leads by 2 with 4:52 remaining in the first half. We've had 3 ties and 10 lead changes thus far. The biggest lead, Oklahoma, had a 5-point lead early. Virginia with a 7-point lead, and that call brings Terry Holland off the bench.
That time Virginia was stuck with a spot throw-in underneath the basket. The passer couldn't move, and Oklahoma really got on the Virginia players, didn't allow the ball to get inside until it was almost too late.
Davis with a power move inside, and he walked. The story thus far, Mookie Blaylock is just 1 for 6 from the field for Oklahoma, and the freshman for Virginia, Brian Stith, with 12 points.
Again, Oklahoma does a nice job, but they give up too much.
Crotty on the break. Can't get it to go, but he is fouled.
Oklahoma does a nice job again, the second time, of smothering the receivers for Virginia, but they give up so much.
I'm sorry, Lenny. The foul is on Mookie Blaylock. That is his first. And the team's 7th.
Crotty at the line. He'll shoot 2.
Tim, when you play that kind of pressure defense and you're so close, once you gambled and you don't get the ball, that the offensive player can turn and take off. He's got a clear field ahead of him, and that's what happened with Crotty that time.
Virginia is 0 for 5 from the line tonight after shooting 73% as a team in the tournament. And Crotty hits the second one.
Virginia looks as though, as they apply full court pressure, if they like this pace, they've scored over 100 in the last 2 games, and I believe they're looking for a 3rd game.
Jones kicks it back out to Henry, who fires for 3.
3-point basket by
And we're tied. That's turnover number 9 for the Cavaliers.
And as much as Virginia would like to play this pace, it's the mental errors that begin, and then the physical errors start to mount when you're fatigued. And maybe some of the Virginia players now are starting to get a little winded.
Turner gets it back for Virginia, and out to Crotty. Here come the Cavaliers. UVA to this point has been extremely poised, using the entire court, motion offense, and this is Morgan. Nice pump fake, but he's fouled by Henry. That's Henry's first, and the 7th team foul for Oklahoma.
And I mentioned earlier, a lot of times good, smart players use the aggressiveness of the defender against them. And knowing that Henry likes to come out, get things started, reaching and getting active with his hands, Richard Morgan did a nice job of just showing the ball and then drawing the foul. You always get a defender off his feet if you show him the ball.
Turner goes out. Stith comes back in. He has 12 points. At the line will be Richard Morgan, a 6'3" senior out of Salem, Virginia, majoring in sports management. He's got another one coming.
Tim, Richard Morgan's a great story. He's the kind of guy that goes out. He's upbeat all the time. If he's shooting 1 for 20, he feels that the next shot's going to go. He's liable to put up another 20 just to show his coach.
With a smile before he lets that one go, and he now has 12 points.
Number 10, Anthony Oliver. Coming out, number 22, John Crotty.
Crotty gets a break, and Oliver comes in for the Cavaliers.
Again, it's a periodic breather for John Crotty because he's so important in leading this team. Terry Holland's going to rotate guards, give Morgan a chance to handle it as well as Oliver. Plus, Oliver puts fresh pressure.
Anthony Oliver, Lenny, is playing with 2 sprained ankles, so it does give him a break coming back here and being able to play where Terry Holland now can rest his guards. Davis with the bucket inside. Blaylock took an elbow in the eye, I think.
It was purely accidental. Brian Stith going after the ball. And Brian Stith comes over to kind of see how Mookie Blaylock's doing. Good show of sportsmanship there.
As you look at Mookie Blaylock, this is how it happened.
Stith reaches in trying to deflect the ball. As Blaylock comes over, he gets caught. It's a tough angle for the officials to really call a foul.
It was the left hand of Stith, and as you mentioned, it was purely by accident. Terrence Mullins will come back in and replace Blaylock in the Oklahoma lineup. We're tied at 35. 3 minutes and 20 seconds remain in the first half. Blaylock being worked on the bench. 1 for 7 from the field tonight. That was a 3-pointer. Sooners in white, Virginia in blue. We're tied at 35 as we approach the 3-minute mark in the first half. The winner moves on to the championship of the Southeast region and will play the winner of tonight's second game between Carolina and Michigan. Henry is fouled by Dabbs.
Well, Henry had really no other alternative but to put the ball on the floor because he had an open baseline lane. But Matt Blunden really kind of thwarted Henry's original idea and actually get the ball into Stacey King. Blunden did a nice job of fronting King, but what he did was he couldn't get to the baseline in time to help out on the drive.
That was the first on Dabbs, the 15 foul against Virginia. Henry will be shooting 2. And he makes the first one. He was the National Junior College Slam Dunk Champion, majoring in political science, a 6'7", 170-pound junior. And he hits the second one. The first 2 free throw attempts that were made for the Sooners. Crotty brings it up, dishes to Blunden, and Blunden scores.
Well, the way they got it up wasn't the way Terry Holland wanted them to. He'd rather have his team pass against the press than to dribble it up, but they still found an opening and attacked it.
We're tied at 37. Mullins for 3, can't get it to drop. And Oklahoma loses it out of bounds. It'll be UVA basketball.
And you can't say enough about the job Matt Blunden has done on Stacey King so far. That time he blocked him out, sealed him off the board, and all Stacey King could do was get a finger on it and knock it out of bounds.
Stacey King, the All-American from Oklahoma, is also struggling. He's just 1 for 4. This is Morgan. Crotty, nice dish underneath to Blunden. He can't hold it. Gets it back to Crotty, and Crotty can't score. Rebound Davis. Under 2 minutes to go the first half. Jones with an air ball. Virginia with a 3-on-1. This is stiff. And he's fouled.
And that look on Billy Tubbs' face was of consternation. Not only does his own man save the ball into the hands of Virginia, but even a foul attempting to keep Ryan Stiff from making the basket. Stiff finishes it off nicely, keeps his eye on the rim, and lays the ball up. And Virginia is capitalizing again on Oklahoma mistakes. They fail to get back. They aren't able to handle the passes inside, and that's why they're where they are right now.
He is a tough freshman. He lost part of his front tooth in the game against Providence, jammed his thumb. He continues to play, and he appears to be getting better every game. .130 remaining in the half. It's 40-37 Virginia.
Nice job by Virginia on the full court pressure. And you know the old adage, a team that likes to press hates to be pressed. And Oklahoma is showing that right now. They haven't been able to handle that pressure when it's been thrown on them.
Morgan complains that he's roughed up. This is Crotty. Dabbs loses it out. It'll be Oklahoma ball. Terry Holland is concerned with the way they're letting them play. Under a minute to go, first half. Cavaliers get it back. It's a 3-on-2. Numbers are there. Morgan has it taken away by Oklahoma.
Bad decision by Morgan. Normally he'd pull up and take that shot.
The Sooners will hold it for one shot. Shot clock is at 34. Game clock at 35. There's actually a 3-second differential. It's a 3-point Cavalier lead. Henry loses it to Stiff. 7 seconds. Stiff can't get it to go, gets his own rebound, and Henry fouls him. There is no time remaining on the clock.
And you see a little bit of shoving going underneath between Henry and Daniel. That shows the frustration of the Oklahoma Sooners right now. They have an opportunity for the last shot. They're not able to convert on the pass. Virginia comes down and gets 3 attempts at the basket. And that's been the story of the first half. Virginia's second opportunity.
The foul was on Skeeter Henry. Oklahoma's been scoreless in the last 2 minutes and 54 seconds. There is no time on the clock. Billy Tubbs is complaining to the officials that there was no time when the foul occurred. It's a moot point. Stith will shoot. 2.
Bryant Stith again stays with and misses the layup, comes back on the other side, and again, no one's back. You've got 3 Oklahoma players back. No one hustled to get over the line except for the Virginia players, and that's why they're on the line and ahead right now.
Stith with 17 points and 3 rebounds. That's the end of the first half. With Virginia leading Oklahoma 42-37. Our coverage will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Honda Power Equipment. It's Honda engineering that makes the difference. United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies. And by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
First half, Virginia had 11 points, or Oklahoma rather, 11 points from the bench, and Virginia had none.
But Virginia's not really relying on their bench. They've got 5 or 6 guys who are doing the job right now.
Both teams shooting well after a slow start. And free throws, Virginia 8 of 13, Oklahoma 2 of 2. Virginia out-rebounded Oklahoma 19-11, and of the big guns, Richard Morgan hit 4 in a row, 12 points. For Oklahoma, Stacey King only 2 points, Blaylock only 3 points. So Virginia controlled the tempo, the boards, and the king. Stacey, who has only 2 points.
And Tim, Billy Tubbs has got to be concerned. His team can't hit the outside shot. They haven't solved Virginia's smothering defense inside against Stacey King. And right now, they're going to have to look for some easy baskets off of their pressured defense, and it's certainly going to have to block out. Those things are going to compensate for the poor outside shooting. On the Virginia side, if I were Terry Holland, except for maybe pressuring the passer who's throwing the lob pass inside over the defense, I wouldn't change a thing.
A note of interest, just before this half began, right now, Billy Tubbs, who was concerned about the officials letting him play too much, sent over Stacey King to the head referee and told him, hey, let's watch some of the fouls inside. We'll see if it had an effect. King throws it away. That's turnover number 11 for the Sooners.
I'm sure that's one of the things that they talked about in the locker room. Stacey, if you're double or triple, look for somebody on the weak side.
Morgan pushes it quickly and can't get his jumper to drop. King with a rebound. You saw Indiana and Seton Hall tied at 28. Just underway in the second half. Tim Brandt and Len Elmore with you. Henry can't get it to roll. Dabbs with a rebound. Crotty gets caught down low with the double team, and Henry knocks it out of bounds. One of these teams will move on to this championship of the Southeast region. One will go home. The second game of the doubleheader in the Southeast is Michigan and Carolina, and that one should be a dandy.
Take a look at the inside play. In the first half, Oklahoma was content with playing behind the big people inside. Now they're starting to pick up their defense and step around in front to try to deny the passing.
Inside to Dabbs. Quick drop step, can't get it to drop. Rebound, Blunden.
Another offensive foul, another missed opportunity for Oklahoma. Offensive rebound, another missed opportunity for Oklahoma. No block out again.
Cavaliers by 7. This is Davis. Nice drop pass to King.
Basket by King.
King now has only 4 points. Stith out of control, walks, and that's turnover number 13 for the Cavaliers.
Oklahoma knew going into the locker room that they'd have to block out. Dabbs misses the shot, and again, no one is between Matt Blunden and the basket, and Blunden gets an easy path for the layup.
Tony Martin has replaced William Davis in the Oklahoma lineup. This is Mullins working on Crotty. King, turnaround, and he's fouled, so the talk may have done some good.
Well, particularly on that play where Stacey King went up straight and Stith kind of reached in. But Stacey King is also worried about when he catches the ball, people slapping because he's been losing it, he's been throwing it away. But that may be something that'll get some of the Virginia players off of his back and allow him some room to breathe.
The foul was on Brian Stith. That's his second, the first team foul of the half for the Cavaliers. Stacey King hits the first one. He's playing with 3 screws in the index finger of his shooting hand that he broke in December. And he has a sprained little finger against Louisiana Tech, so his shooting hand is a miss.
It's kind of remarkable for a guy averaging 26 points a game, though.
When he got fouled, he said, "Here we go." So Stacey King has the feeling. Morgan. And Stith loses it out of bounds.
Now, Tim, that was a heck of a pass by Richard Morgan. Brian Stith lost the handle of it, but Morgan threaded the needle between 2 Oklahoma defenders.
Outside, Mullins for 3. And we're tied.
And you can just look at the pressure now. Oklahoma's starting to bounce on the balls of their feet. They're getting active with their hands.
On the floor right now for Oklahoma. Mullins, Jones, King, Martin, and Henry. Blaylock is on the bench. Dabbs with a tough power move inside, gets his own rebound. And Oklahoma gets the rebound. Jones. And the whistle this time against Oklahoma. It's on Tony Martin, and that'll be his 3rd.
It's kind of a tough call on that particular play. Dabbs and Martin were both pushing each other.
A look at Mookie Blaylock, who has ice on his eye. Stith accidentally hit him with a finger in the eye going for a loose ball. He has not been back since. Blaylock was 1 for 7 in the first half, only 1 assist. We're tied at 44. 17 minutes exactly to go in the ball game. Tim Brandt and Len Elmore, Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky, the Southeast region. This is Crotty, who dumps to Stith.
Anytime a guard penetrates, that puts a lot of pressure on the back line to help out. And Brian Stith's man left him.
It's 46-44. And the shot clock is inoperable right now. It never moved from the 45-second mark. Good look at Billy Tubbs in his 9th year at Oklahoma, the winningest coach in Sooner history.
Tim, with the shot clock not working, you kind of wonder, since Oklahoma had the ball, why Billy Tubbs even got up. He could have got a world of time to shoot before they had an opportunity to see it.
He's complaining because they're melting it at the other end, the Cavaliers. A 2-point Virginia lead. Mullins' shot is short. King with the follow.
Basket by King.
Yes. Stith now with 21 points.
Virginia still attacking the Oklahoma pressure. They're going to make them pay if they gamble.
Big rebound by Dabbs, and he pulled that one down with authority. Dabbs has 10 rebounds now. Look at Morgan inside. Boy, if that one had gone, this place would have exploded.
I tell you, when you see Richard Morgan animated like this, really involved in the ball game, you know he's got the feeling.
The foul was on Skeeter Henry of Oklahoma. That's his 3rd. Indiana now trailing Seton Hall by 4. That game in the
Morgan
West.
at the line. He'll shoot 2.
The winner of that game will move on to play the winner of UNLV in Arizona. And Morgan hits the free throw. One of his preseason goals was to shoot more free throws. He has shot 135 this year. Interesting in that he had only 32 free throws all last year.
Substitution for Oklahoma. Every lineup is number 10.
Mookie Blaylock comes back in. You can see that left eye is almost swollen shut.
And I tell you, Mookie Blaylock, who hadn't been shooting well in the first half, he's brought in not so much for his offense, but for his ability to get his team going, moving the ball around, distributing it, and on defense, and stealing the ball, slashing and gambling a bit.
Mullins identifies the defense now, which looks like a zone matchup by the Cavaliers. This is Mullins for three.
Three-point basket by Mullins.
Virginia breaks the pressure. Morgan fires for three. Way too strong. King with a rebound. Blaylock for two.
Well, you wonder if he got hit in the eye and it shook something up. But Mookie Blaylock, that was about as on target as he's been all game.
Here's the steal ahead to Mullins. It's a three-point Sooner lead.
Those are the easy baskets we talked about that compensate for poor outside shooting. Oklahoma's looking to turn Virginia over more to create those opportunities.
Oklahoma on a 7-0 run. The foul is on Martin, and that's his fourth.
Now, even though Mookie Blaylock has a mouse under his eye, it may be difficult for him to see. Those are the qualities that make him so valuable to this team. He doesn't have to shoot to be valuable. Quickness of hand, anticipation, that's what makes him such a great player.
William Davis comes in as you look at Mookie Blaylock. And Tony Martin goes out with 4 personal. London's fouled this time by Mullins. That's his second.
But even though Blunden was fouled, that's the kind of foul that Billy Tubbs would be happy with because the defense is active now.
Coming up next, Michigan against North Carolina here in the Southeast region. And out west, UNLV against top-ranked Arizona. All here on CBS as the road to Seattle continues. Oklahoma leads by 3. We've got 14:50 remaining in the ball game. Tim Brandt and Len Elmore with you at Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. This is Morgan. Stiff with a rebound inside, takes it back up and can't convert. And he's fouled by Davis. That's 3 on Davis.
And again, we mentioned Brian Stith's size at 6'5". He has such an uncanny ability to get to the point where he believes the ball is coming off, and he holds his ground.
Davis has 3. Martin has 4. There's timeout, and Oklahoma leads by 3. Georgetown, the #1 seed in the East, had 2 tough first-round games. NC State with the best shooting percentage in the tournament, just ahead of Virginia, and Duke and Minnesota move on in the East. Seton Hall and Indiana playing right now in the West. Seton Hall clinging to a small lead there. Here at Rupp Arena, Oklahoma on a 7-0 run over the last 2 minutes since Mookie Blaylock came back into the lineup, and the Sooners lead by 3. This is Crotty of Virginia. Rebound Sooners. And Jones stepped on the baseline.
In that particular series, seems as though Virginia decides they're going to go right at Mookie Blaylock, knowing he likes to play the passing lanes and maybe steal the ball from other players. They want to keep him honest and allow his player to get involved in the offense, keep him out of those passing lanes.
Saw Terry Holland looking on, his 15th year at Virginia. 14 minutes, 15 seconds remain in the ball game. This is Crotty. Oklahoma in a man-to-man defense.
See if Crotty stays involved in the offense to keep Blaylock occupied.
Shot clock at 25.
Little confusion by Virginia as far as what offense they're running.
Looking content to melt the clock. Oklahoma applying the pressure. This is Crotty. To Morgan for 3. Rebound Blunden, and they'll reset the clock.
So far, that's been the problem. Oklahoma, their failure to block out gives Virginia second opportunities.
Virginia now 3 of 13 from the field in this half. 25 on the shot clock. Nice skip pass to Stiff, pump fake, and he can't get it to drop, but he's fouled. The foul is on Patterson. That's his first. This is what we were talking about. The Cavaliers have not scored a field goal in the last 3 minutes.
And that's why you want to run a pattern type of offense right now. Get it to the people that you know can score in the places from where they know they can score. Brian Stiff, even at 6'5", excellent post-up player. Virginia milked the clock nicely that time. Stiff got good position underneath. And when he pump fakes, he's going to get some people off their feet.
22 points now for Stiff. He's an interesting freshman. He's been selected to Who's Who among American students. And he was named to the National All-Freshman team this past week. And he hits the second one. The Sooners lead by 1 as we approach the 13-minute mark. Blaylock can't get the roll. Morgan out ahead of the break. And he's fouled by Mullins.
And you know Richard Morgan is a shooter. That time the ball was tipped out of his hands, flying away from him. He went after it and tried to tip it into the basket.
For Oklahoma, Mullins has 3, Henry has 3, Davis has 3, and Martin has 4. Foul situation becoming paramount for Oklahoma. Jeff Daniel comes back in. Blunden will get a rest for the Cavaliers, and Morgan's at the line. He's an 86% free throw shooter. He's now 5 for 5 from the line. His brother Charlie played basketball for East Tennessee. He's from Salem, Virginia, a senior. And Virginia has the lead. Nice pass inside to King, and he converts.
That's the way Oklahoma's offense normally clicks. Virginia's going to have to pressure that lob passer. They don't want to throw it over the defense.
Morgan to Crotty. They're working the perimeter. We've had 9 ties and 12 lead changes.
It's him with the foul trouble that Oklahoma's starting to get into. Virginia wants to make them play defense.
Nice pass to Dabbs. He can't convert. Jones came under him. And Jones will be called for the personal. That's his first.
Tough call there. Bailed Brent Dabbs out on the missed dunk.
Oklahoma is over the limit, so Dabbs will go to the line. He's shooting 2.
And it's situations like this, Tim, that create second opportunities for Virginia. It's not only the failure to block out, but it's bailing people out with fouls, such as moving underneath them when they're dunking the ball, slapping at wrist, fouling away from the ball. That's what Oklahoma's done. It's very uncharacteristic of them.
He now has 7 points, 10 rebounds as you look at Billy Tubbs. And he hits the second one. UVA by 1. William Davis comes back in. Jones will get a breather.
You see, in a situation like that, William Davis is a hard-nosed, tough player inside. He's going to help Oklahoma get their share of rebounds.
This is Mullins to Blaylock. He'll fire. Rebound Stiff for the Cavaliers. Under 12 minutes to play. UVA by 1 over top-seeded Oklahoma. The Sooners were ranked number 1 in the nation 4 weeks during the regular season. The number 1 seed in the Southeast.
And Oklahoma doing a nice job inside, except that time Patterson let Stiff get the ball.
Stiff is fouled by Patterson. That'll be his second.
But prior to that particular pass, Oklahoma doing a nice job inside. Virginia wants to look inside. As soon as the outside players get the ball, the offensive players are getting fronted by the Oklahoma defenders, and that allows them really to keep the ball from going straight in. They've got to look somewhere else.
The ACC Rookie of the Year has 23 points, and he's 7 for 7 at the line. Make it 8.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Can't get the second one. King with a rebound. Oklahoma trailing by 2. This is Morgan to Stiff, and it's a good thing Stiff was there because Morgan got caught in the air.
Well, Richard Morgan has a tendency to get overly excited and make some bad decisions, but he was pretty much helped out there. But John Crotty's going to get the ball back and set the offense again and get everybody back in sync.
Crotty will pull it back out. Shot clock at 19. Nice skip pass to Dabbs. Pump fake, and he scores.
Big basket for Virginia, and Brent Dabbs again has come on really strong for Virginia, taking big shots.
The lead is 4. This is Mullins for 3. Out on Davis. It'll be Virginia basketball.
Substitution for Virginia. Entering the lineup is number
Billy Tubbs has been working the officials the entire game.
Well, that one is definitely a work of the officials because he saw the ball clearly bounce off this player's shoulder. That wasn't a hard call.
Kenny Turner comes back in for Virginia. Brian Stiff, the freshman, will get a breather. Stiff with 24 points. This is Morgan. Morgan's for 3. He now has 19. It's a 7-point Virginia lead. Davis with the power move, and he's fouled by Turner.
Oklahoma's trying to do a nice job of answering. A little bit of animosity in there after the contact. Jeff Daniel was knocked down right before the foul, but Oklahoma trying to answer by getting the ball inside. With Brian Stiff out of the game, Virginia now is going to try and spread the floor and go to Richard Morgan a little bit more, let him carry the offensive load.
Coming out 31, Daniel Patterson.
Skeeter Henry comes back in for the Sooners. Patterson will sit down, and at the line for the Sooners is Davis. Look at this.
Well, a lot of people would think that'd be a surprise. Seton Hall, normally dwarfed by its bigger brothers in the Big East tournament, they're here now, and people know they're for real.
Big Ten 9-1 in the tournament. Big East 6-2. Atlantic Coast Conference 9-2. And Davis hits the second one. So with 9:53 to go in the ball game, the Cavaliers are holding on, 62-57.
33.
Welcome back to Lexington, Kentucky, Rupp Arena. More than 20,000 here, and they're watching this game. Virginia leading Oklahoma 62-57. Under 10 minutes to play. Cavaliers with the basketball. We want to welcome those of you who have been watching the game in Denver. Indiana Seton Hall in the West region. Seton Hall leads that one 42-33 with Dick Stockton and Bill Raftery. I'm Tim Brand along with Len Elmore at Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. Virginia has controlled the tempo and the boards here. They led by 5 at the half. They held off a 7-0 Oklahoma run to start this half, but they still control the game, and Blunden scores to make it A 64-57 Virginia lead. Len Elmore, give us an overview of the game.
Well, it's been Oklahoma's inability to block Virginia off the boards, giving them second opportunities, and also Virginia's ability to keep Stacey King from really being involved in this ball game that's allowed Virginia this lead.
It's a jump ball, and the possession arrow belongs to Virginia. The rebounds that Len Elmore talked about, you see there, and it has been UVA controlling the boards. The bench scoring has belonged to Oklahoma. Stith, the freshman for Virginia, 23 points and 5 rebounds. And over the last 5 minutes, you see the scoring by the Cavaliers. This is Crotty for Virginia. Morgan can't get it to drop. Blaylock with a rebound. Stacey King, the All-American for Oklahoma, has 10 points. Make it 12.
And that time Virginia, outside of their character in this game, didn't front Stacey King. They allowed a straight pass into the post, and he's going to burn you that way. They're going to have to make an adjustment again.
Great hustle by Skeeter Henry, goes over the table. And Mullins will help him get back on the court. The other side of the story, Len, is that Blaylock, part of the inside-outside combo for the Sooners, has only 5 points and a black eye. He was hit accidentally by Stith when the two went for a loose ball.
And Mookie Blaylock also isn't as active as he normally would be in this type of defense. He's the NCAA all-time steals per game leader, and he really hasn't been a factor on defense.
Morgan with the pull-up jumper. Fight for the rebound. Blunden gets it back. And he's fouled by King.
And Tim, I'm just amazed. Recognizing that this is the biggest problem that Oklahoma has, they still fail to block out Matt Blunden. And what they do is create second opportunities for Virginia and cause the front line to get in foul trouble with the nice pump fakes inside by the Virginia players.
Some obvious concern by Billy Tubbs of Oklahoma, as King now has 3. Martin has 4. Henry has 3. Mullins has 3. And Davis has 3, all for Oklahoma. Blunden at the line with 6 points and 6 rebounds. Oklahoma and Virginia playing right now for the right to move on and play the winner of our second game, which will be coming up later this evening between North Carolina and Michigan. We're in the southeast region. Blunden hits the second one. And it's a 6-point Cavalier lead with 8:15 remaining in the ball game. Nice spin move by Davis.
Basket by Davis.
You have the feeling, Len, that Oklahoma is ready to explode, but every time they look like that, Virginia holds them off.
Well, that's been Virginia's control of the tempo. Terry Holland mentioned yesterday when we spoke to him that if they turn the ball over against pressure, they don't want to repeat that in sequence because that gives Oklahoma a big lift. What they've been able to do is after they turn it over, they take a step back, Virginia does, look at what happens and reset, and they come up and really are successful in getting the ball over half court and then attacking the pressure.
Skeeter Henry just picked up his 4th personal. Crotty at the line with 5 points, 8 assists. He gets the roll. John Crotty is a 6'1" sophomore. Parade High School All-American Player of the Year out of New Jersey. His dad played basketball at North Carolina.
So where did he almost go to school?
Notre Dame. Seriously, at Notre Dame. No question the free throw line has been a major factor here, and King with the power move, and he's fouled.
And Stacey King is animated. That's one of the few times Oklahoma's had an opportunity to put the ball back in off of a missed shot on their board. And that's one of the reasons why the foul shooting, there's such a discrepancy. Oklahoma just hasn't been able to go inside. Here, Stacey King does a nice job of staying with his missed shot and is fouled, and that's what Oklahoma has to do. They've got to attack the boards now because they're in trouble.
That's the second foul on Matt Blunden of Virginia, and King converts. 67-64 Virginia. King with 15 points now, 13 of those in the second half. Seven and a half left to play.
Oklahoma's gone to half-court pressure instead of full-court pressure because Virginia's done an excellent job of attacking the full court.
Stitt bangs it in. And the freshman has 26 points. It's a 4-point lead. Correction, 5. King with a jumper.
And once again, no one fronted Stacey King. They played behind him, and that's when Stacey King is at his best once he gets the ball.
Dabbs wide open. Instead, cross-court pass to Crotty. Rebound, Oklahoma. Man-to-man defense by the Cavaliers. King takes it to the paint and scores.
But Tim, the last couple of times down, offensively and defensively, you can see Oklahoma seems to be revitalized, while Virginia, they're not going to the boards as briskly as they had done before, and defensively, they're not really contesting the passes inside, and I think Virginia's getting tired, where Oklahoma's getting a second wind.
King is starting to take over this game for Oklahoma. He has 17 points in the second half. It's a 1-point Virginia lead. The Sooners of Oklahoma have turned it up a notch, and they now trail by only 1 with 6:10 to go in the ball game. And one of the reasons for that has been Stacey King, the All-American. He had 2 points in the first half. He is 7 for 9 in the second half and has 19 for the game. The steal by Henry, and the Sooners lead it.
And everything's falling into place for Oklahoma. They've got Stacey King started. Now their defense, their pressure defense is becoming more active, and they're getting involved in stealing the ball.
I want to repeat something that was said earlier about Oklahoma. It's not how fast you run, it's how long you run fast. And if you try to run entire, things fall apart. And right now, Virginia looks tired. This is Mullins. .5:30 left to play. Morgan ahead to Dabbs. He kicks it back out to Daniel, and Crotty will set the offense.
Good decision by Dabbs. Can't get taken by the experience right now of being wide open, or at least thinking you were.
Mullins with a big rebound, kicks it out to Blaylock. That's for 2. Henry. It's an 8-0 run for the Sooners. And we've got under 5 minutes to play.
Tim, as soon as Oklahoma switched it at 1-3-1, Virginia seemed to have problems in solving it.
Morgan for 3. And we're tied.
I guess that'll work. If you're going to solve a 1-3-1 pressure defense, you shoot over it like that, you have no problem.
This is King. Big rebound by Dabbs. Crotty penetrates. Cavaliers by 2. Mullins for 3. Ties and 15 lead changes. Under 4 minutes to play. All the Virginia players standing off the bench. You see them in the background. This would be a major upset. Morgan for 3. Yes!
Well, you've seen Virginia for a flurry run with Oklahoma and do all the things that Oklahoma does in rushing it up court. And then they push it back and play pattern game to get Richard Morgan wide open. Doing an excellent job of changing pace on Oklahoma.
Richard Morgan, 25 points, 4 3-pointers. .25 on the shot clock. Crotty is fouled by Mullins.
Now, by changing pace, I mean, that when there's a missed shot or a turnover, Virginia's been able to get the ball, get out and run with Oklahoma and run at that breakneck speed. But there comes a point in time when the defense of Oklahoma gets set up, Virginia decides we're going to milk some time off the clock, and changing the pace really keeps the defense off balance.
Martin has 4, Henry has 4, and Mullins has 4, all from Oklahoma. And the All-American and the Big 8 Player of the Year, Stacey King, has 3. Those of you who have been watching the game in the West between Indiana and Seton Hall here at Rupp Arena in the semifinal game of the Southeast region, we've got an upset in the making. 3 minutes and 11 seconds remain in the ball game, and the Virginia Cavaliers lead the #1 seeded Oklahoma Sooners 77-72. You see the offensive rebounds by the Cavaliers and second chance points. Brian Stith, the freshman, a marvelous performance. 26 points, 7 rebounds. The Cavaliers led by 5 at the half as John Crotty of Virginia hits the free throw. Virginia withstood the second half charge of Oklahoma. Stacey King, the All-American, 19 points in the game, all but 2 of those in this half. Tim Brandt and Len Elmore with you in Lexington, Kentucky.
Well, the problem Oklahoma's facing now, besides the clock, is how to get the ball to Stacey King. Virginia's gone back to fronting him. It's been successful, particularly in the first half when Stacey King only had 2 points.
Morgan thought he had a clean swipe of the basketball. Instead, King will go to the line. Virginia on a 9-0 run as you look at Richard Morgan, the senior for Virginia.
And Tim, Oklahoma just hasn't been able to play its game. At times, they come out with the pressure defense and rattle Virginia. They've been able to get the ball inside. But what happens is Virginia withstands that and is brought back by Brian Stitt or Richard Morgan.
You saw Tubbs. He thought like I did that King was fouled in the act of shooting. He wasn't. And Virginia's not in the bonus situation yet, not over the line. They only have 4 team fouls. The possession arrow belongs to the Sooners. I was with Billy Tubbs there. I thought King was in the act of shooting and should have gone to the line.
I think he's giving a piece of his mind to the official right there.
Oklahoma with a lot of foul trouble as Henry penetrates and backs it in.
Timeout, Oklahoma.
That cuts the lead to 4 with 2:45 remaining. Two minutes and 45 seconds remain in the ball game. Virginia with 2 timeouts left. Oklahoma with 3. Virginia with 2 fouls to give. The Cavaliers have only 4 team fouls, and the possession arrow belongs to Virginia. It's 78-74. Cavaliers with 2:45 remaining in the ball game, and UVA has the basketball. This is Richard Morgan to Dabbs, and the Cavaliers will spread the court.
Oklahoma
2.5 minutes to play.
Oklahoma back into the man-to-man right now because they know they've got to create some turnovers, and there may come a time when they're going to have to foul. And being in man-to-man allows them the luxury of being close to their men rather than spread out by the Virginia offense.
Stiff with a tough move, can't get it to drop. Henry with the rebound. Oklahoma trails by 4, the #1 seed in the Southeast region. Lob pass underneath, and the Sooners lose it out of bounds. That's turnover number 15. For those of you who have been watching the game in the West, it's 49-41, Seton Hall. Here at Rupp Arena in Lexington, we're under 2 minutes to play, and Virginia holding on to a 4-point lead. The foul is on Mookie Blaylock, and Crotty will go to the line.
Foul is on Blaylock.
That's Blaylock's second.
Your attention, please, Dr. Joseph Dobner of Frankfort, Kentucky. Dr. Joseph Dobner of Frankfort.
Without having a foul to give, Oklahoma's going to have to go after the ball now. When they come down court, if they score, look for them again to apply full court pressure, and they're going to have to start making some moves, particularly if Crotty makes threes.
Big rebound, and Crotty gets it back. They'll reset to 45. 1:40 left in the game. This is Morgan.
Can't say enough about the job Blunden and Dabbs are doing.
Nice pass to Crotty.
I tell you what made that play, Tim. Blunden and Dabbs held on to the ball till they found the receiver. They didn't panic with 5 seconds going.
Tough move by Henry. Rebound Dabbs. Let me pass this note along to you. 2 of the 3 times that Terry Holland's teams have reached the Final 16, they've gone all the way to the Final 4. The foul is on Henry. That's his 5th. He'll have to sit down.
Entering the lineup for Oklahoma is number 22, Tyrone.
So Tyrone Jones comes into the ball game.
Stitt is in the line. He'll shoot 1 in the bonus.
Want to welcome those of you who have been watching the game in the West. Tim Brandt and Len Elmore with you at Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. There is 1 minute and 2 seconds remaining in the ball game. And Virginia leads the top-seeded Oklahoma Sooners 81-74. Brian Stitt, the freshman, at the line with 27 points tonight. And he gives Virginia an 82-74 lead. It is the biggest Virginia lead of the game. The concern on Billy Tubbs' face. What a shocker. This is Stacey King, banks it in. We're under a minute.
Timeout, Oklahoma.
And Oklahoma takes 1 of its 3 timeouts, so both teams now have 2 remaining. Seconds left in the game. This is the situation. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. Virginia with 2 fouls to give and the possession arrow. Let's talk about strategy here, Len Elmore.
Well, Tim, Oklahoma being down 6 with 2 timeouts, they're going to play full court pressure, knowing that they have the type of team that can turn someone over quickly. They've got to give the pressure a chance to work, though, and not foul right away. So look for them to play some defense for at least 10 to 15 seconds.
Dabbs stepped on the line. Turnover for Virginia, and a costly turnover. Those of you watching that game, it's 49-44 Seton Hall. This is Stacey King, and he's fouled. King will go to the line, this time shooting 2.
It was a good foul by Brent Dabbs. You don't let someone get a layup in that particular situation, but the gamble by Matt Blunden put an awful lot of pressure on Dabbs. And what Virginia can't do right now is gamble and allow Oklahoma to exploit that gamble for an easy layup.
Virginia scored the last 7 points of the first half. They led by 5 at intermission. Now with 48 seconds left, it's 82-76 Cavaliers, and King misses the first one. He's a 72% free throw shooter. The Big 8 player of the year. Coming up next, here in the Southeast, Michigan and North Carolina. In the West, top-ranked Arizona and the running Rebels of UNLV. John Crotty almost had it knocked away.
And that's what we mean by Oklahoma having the capability of turning it over. These guys come up from behind you, Laylock and Mullen, and they can tip it away and start the break in no time.
30 seconds left in the game. 27 on the shot clock.
They've got a foul now.
The foul is on King, and Matt Blunden will go to the line. That's 4 personals on King. Henry has already fouled out for the Sooners. So Matt Blunden, a 6'6 sophomore, the backup quarterback of the football team, will go to the line, and he's only a 58% free throw shooter.
But Timmy, in the ACC tournament, in a tough game against, I believe it was Clemson, when Clemson was making a comeback, it was Blunden that they fouled in the last minute and a half, and he canned 5 free throws in a row.
He makes this one and gives Virginia a 6-point lead.
I mean, the point of that is you can throw the stats out the window when it comes to free throws. In a pressure situation in crunch time, it's what you do in the last minute of play that really counts. I'd like to see his percentage there.
And he hits the second one. You're right on it.
Substitution for Virginia. Entering the lineup, number 44, Jeff Daniel. Coming out, number 30, Matt Blunden.
12:48 remaining in that ball game. Seton Hall continues to lead. Here at Rupp Arena, it's 84-77. Virginia. And the Cavaliers have the ball. 15 seconds. Virginia's going to pull the upset and knock out the #1 seed, Oklahoma. The foul on Tyrone Jones, but they know it's over.
Well, I tell you, Oklahoma, you can tell from that last shot by Mookie Blaylock, they just didn't have it tonight. Billy Tubbs will be the first to tell you, you take a look at the players on the bench, there comes a time when you don't have it.
Proddy at the line. He'll shoot one on the bonus.
Proddy with 12 points, 9 assists tonight. Exclamation point. Three-pointer by Jones, and Oklahoma will take a timeout with 2 seconds left, and that'll draw some boos from the fans. So Oklahoma, which last year lost to Kansas in the title game, is about to go home, the #1 seed in the Southeast.
You look at a Virginia team right now that seem to be outmanned, seem to be outquicked. But what they did was devise a game plan that allowed them to control the tempo. Oklahoma kind of helped by not blocking out on the offensive boards for Virginia, and also by not being able to hit the outside shots. And you put all those things in a pot, and you're cooking an upset.
Billy Tubbs is furious. 2 seconds remain in the ball game. The Cavaliers lead by 6. Oklahoma, Lenny, is only 6-4 in games that are held under 90.
Well, this was Virginia's pace all the way, except for a spurt here and there, particularly when you thought Oklahoma was about to put Virginia away. But again, it was a game plan to change a pace that allowed them to regain the tempo from Oklahoma, forced them to change the things that have gotten Oklahoma this far.
The chant of ACC goes up, and the ACC will now be 10-2 in this tournament. All Dabbs has to do is get it into Morgan, and that'll do it. The Cavaliers of Virginia move on to the title game, and they'll play the winner of the doubleheader game coming up next between Michigan and North Carolina. Once again, the final score, Virginia 86, Oklahoma 80, and Virginia moves on. The first team in the NCAA to move on to the championship of the region. Oklahoma goes back. Right now, let's go to New York. Here's Jim Nantz.
Tim Brandt, thank you. So we've lost our first #1 seed in the tournament as the Oklahoma Sooners are eliminated. One other note, we've talked a lot about Georgetown trying to get back to Seattle where it won its championship in 1984. Virginia was in that Final Four at the Kingdome. The Cavaliers came out of the East Regional that year as a 7 seed. Here they are a 5 seed and 1 game away from going back to Seattle. And James, what about the Chevy MVPs?
All right, Jimmy, as I talk about the Chevy MVPs now, you get an idea why Brian Stith was the ACC Rookie of the Year, the freshman with 28 points in that contest, leading the Cavaliers in that charge against Oklahoma. And for Oklahoma, the big man, they're All-America, Stacey King, 22 points, 20 in the second half, but in a losing cause. And, Jimmy, I think the first 4 minutes of that game really told the story. Oklahoma trying to put the pressure on. Virginia did not wilt. I think that told the story.
All right, James. Another big story is happening in Denver. Seton Hall is leading over Indiana. We'll take you to Denver as we continue on the road to the Final Four. But that action in just a moment.